Average Joe Movie Show. My name's Matt Dottie.
Brandon.
This is Brandon, and
I'm Zach.
Zach.
We bumped arms. It was weird.
Yeah, sorry. We
Okay.
didn't have
Keep
a
going.
brush off.
Right. And we're going to talk about a movie which a lot of you probably haven't seen called Back to the Future. Came out in 1985. You guys both seen it?
Seen it? Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so actually anybody that's around my age, anyone over 30-something, has probably saw it when they were kids. It was a very popular movie. I guess I'll do the 30-second one to talk about it. It is just like the movie title, Back to the Future. The idea is that you have a high school kid who has kind of a mediocre life. Some things are going right, some things aren't going right. He has a good friend who's the typical kind of crazy scientist, right? And with this crazy scientist, some things happen where he ends up going back to the past. And
Because he bought some plutonium from them.
right. Yeah, he got some plutonium from some Libyan terrorists, which is a good idea. Telling them that he's going to make a nuclear bomb, and then gives them like pinball parts or something like that, and starts laughing. Anyway, so Marty, the protagonist, the high school kid, ends up going back to 1955, where his parents are from, and this is by accident. And when this happens, he ends up messing up his parents actually meeting and hitting it off. And so he puts himself in jeopardy, because if they don't meet, then he'll never happen, right? And it's kind of a whole story about him trying to get back to the future, and also learning a little bit about himself and learning a little bit about his parents, and hopefully making his future better, although he doesn't actually intend to do that. Anything else?
No, that was perfect.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you like Back to the Future? Yeah. Okay.
That's really
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
I love Back to the Future. It's it's just like any other time travel movie where the basic thing, just like you said, is you go back and you start messing with things, and it changes the future, and you somehow put yourself in jeopardy. But it's a funny movie. I haven't seen it in a while, so I'm afraid that it's going to be one of those where I go and watch it and the language is really bad, because there was a section in the 80s where, so I don't remember any of that. I can't do it.
And there was.
Is there some language?
Yeah, I was pretty surprised,
language?
Actually, because you just don't remember that stuff when you're a kid.
Yeah.
But
hilarious part. Great Michael J. Fox. I'm a huge Michael J. Fox fan, and I thought very funny stuff, very clever, good plot line. It's not one of those where you know exactly how it's going to end up, because there's all sorts of twists and turns, and it sets up great for a whole trilogy.
Yeah. It's fun. What do you add to it? It was well done.
Yeah.
It kind of defined Christopher Scott. Like, or Christopher Lloyd.
The old guy, the scientist.
He still makes Back to the Future comments. Like, in his movies, occasionally he'll drop a "Great Scott." And I remember my brother saying, that is so sad that he has to rely on that one movie.
It's like all the Star Wars actors except Harrison Ford, right?
Yeah. Are there other Star Wars actors?
Yeah. Anytime they're in anything, it's some sort of Star Wars reference or something.
I thought it was a great movie. It's, like you were saying, Matt, it's probably one that you've either never seen or forgotten about. I'd put it in the queue. It's queue-worthy for me.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth seeing again, bringing it back, one to pass on to the kids.
Something they did really well in that movie was some of his character development, but towards the end, there's about 5 different things going on that could totally screw things up for him.
Yeah.
And so as far as kind of turning things up a notch, as far as his jeopardy and his suspense and stuff, and whether it's going to turn out okay, they did a pretty good job about that. On that, my wife actually said to me towards the end of the movie, she's like, "Boy, I don't remember it being this tense."
Yeah.
It got to the point where it's funny. It's a funny movie, but it got to the point where you're thinking, Oh,
It's hard.
lots going on.
It's hard to get 1.21 gigawatts.
Gigawatts. Yeah. That was gonna be. I was gonna do that for the quiz question.
Oh,
What's
sorry.
I can think of something else.
How fast you have to go?
Oh, that's a good one too. Do you remember? When's the
Yeah.
last time you saw him? Anything else to add? I mean, I think
Go see it. It's a funny movie.
I like even the good versus evil. He's a pretty good bad guy. You don't like
Biff.
him. Yeah,
Biff.
he's the
We're just wants to punch
kind of the
Biff right in
bully.
face.
And again, he's got some classic. I was watching with my daughter, and he says, "Why don't you just make like a tree and get out of here?" And she's like, "That doesn't make any sense at all." You know, of course, that made me laugh. Yeah, that's the whole point, right? That Biff's not a really sharp guy, but a lot of the stuff he says, when he goes and Marty's picking a fight with him in the cafe or whatever, trying to stand up for his dad, and Biff stands up, and he keeps standing up.
Yeah.
And
Classic.
they have Marty's eyes just looking over his shoulder, and Marty's like, because he just keeps going. That was one of the first times I had ever seen that, but it's been done a billion times in movies since then, right? Don't know if it was done before, but there's a lot of little classic things like that.
Probably not a billion.
Yeah, no, it's a billion. I was just checking on IMDb.
You don't even know what website it is.
Yeah,
it's not a billion.
Okay, so
Okay, we're wrapping up.
yeah, so are we good?
Calling it.
So yeah, I would say if you haven't seen it in a while, it's a good one. I'd probably, if you are sensitive about the language, don't want your kids, hearing that kind of stuff. There's definitely some of the, they're not dropping the worst stuff, but there are definitely some.
It's 80s language.
Yeah,
it's 80s.
it probably
And all
would,
the comedies in that time.
it'd probably get a PG-13. I'm guessing today.
Is it PG?
I think it's PG.
Really?
I think it'd get a PG.
It would definitely get PG-13.
For language. So that's it with you guys.
Yeah.
So you can find this and our other video casts, whatever this is, on Facebook. And Facebook, you just go to facebook.com, and then you can look for stuff on there. And we're under Average Joe, right? Don't do Average Joe. Have you guys ever done that?
I'll take it from here.
Okay. There's like 700 Average Joes on Facebook.
Facebook.com/AverageJoeMovieShow. See, it's one syllable. It goes. Average Joe Movie Show.
Because how do you do syllables? Because I always type in claps like
Hand under the chin.
Average Joe Movie Show.
It's
Average
rhythm.
Joe Show.
It's not syllables. It's rhythm.
Okay.
Average Joe Movie Show. Da-da-da-da-da.
All right. Hopefully you'll never
One
forget
word.
that. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey, wait, thanks to the FSA Stock Exchange for sponsoring us. We'll give somebody 88 credits if they can guess the speed that you have to go to travel back in time.
You know Einstein? You might have.
That
Okay.
way.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks.